Well, hello, this is Mr. Kabilski welcoming you during break. Hopefully all of us are having a great break. I know I am. And I want to give you an update. This is going to be a fairly short recording, but as posted in the announcements, there is an exam exemption which you were required to complete information on before you left for break. And you also, one of the exam exemptions is the practice end of the year test, which you will complete here, and you'll receive 10 extra credit points. Now, I will say that we are going to go over this again later on in the semester for credit. That's going to be for credit. So it's really in your best interest to complete it now. Just do your best. It's getting you in, getting you immersed in what you're going to be able to need to pass that test, and then we're going to be reviewing it. So read the announcements here, and this is what I'm going to have for you. This is the link right here, which again I'll post in the announcements. But if you go over to there, this is the page you're going to get. You're going to go to Ohio Test Portals, and you're going to click on it. And then this is what's going to come up. And let me shift over. Okay, here we are. You're going to click there, and then it's going to come up, and you're going to go over to the family and student and family area. There's a whole bunch of additional information. You're going to click on there, and then you're going to go over to the student practice site. When you get there, you're going to go into a sign-in. Now, don't worry about the rest of this ID and all this other information. Next page, you're going to go and you're going to select the grade. Obviously, 10th grade for biology. Click yes, and then you'll get another page. Now, there's a practice PBA, and then there's the end of course test. So you're going to click on the one on the right, and then it's going to come up again with information. Don't worry about changing this. When you're actually in the test, you can change the test to text-to-speech and some different options. At this point, don't worry about that. Just select, and then go on to the next one and start my test. Now, the thing is again, that's not really starting the test. They tell you it's starting, but it's not really starting. So then they'll tell you again, they'll give you a little bit of information, and you can actually scroll down and get a whole bunch of information. And if you're interested, go ahead and do that. But once you're done with that, click Begin Your Test Now. And this is what you're going to see. Okay, a couple of areas. Up at the top, and this is a practice test. This is just to get you familiar with what you are going to be seeing at the end of the course test, which will be on a computer, face-to-face. So we are getting you prepared. So a couple of things. A, up here, you can sift and sort and look at a variety of questions. You start with question number 1, but let's say you get to question number 1 and you don't want to go there. You want to go to question number 5. You can change that. You can go back and forth to next. You can pause it, okay, for B. And then for C is all the information. And this is a typical kind of question. You're going to have introduction information about what the question is about. You may or may not have a graph with charted information, and you're going to have to interpret that in some way, shape, or form. All right, a couple other things for help. One of the things is you're going to want to write down the number of questions. There's 19 questions, and your answers. Some of the answers obviously are A, B, C, D. I just did an E here for fun and games, and others are going to have orders. You're going to have to write a listing in orders, A, B, C. What's the correct order? Does A come before B or vice versa? We'll look at that as we go through the semester and you do your practice. And then other questions are going to actually have write in. Maybe you're going to be manipulating a graph and you can't write down a letter for the graph. Write down what information that you have. The more information you write down here, the better, because this is not going to be graded at the end. Okay, this is for your help and your understanding. Select the answer, if you have it written down, that's going to give you the best rationale, and it'll help you identify if you're right. You'll understand right once we go over it. If you're not right, you're going to need to understand what you did wrong and how to better get the correct answer when you take your test. So write those down. This is not going to be graded. I'm not going to check to see if you did this, but it's really in your best interests. Okay, so where do we go from there? Let's look at a sample question very briefly, and we'll go over this sometimes later. Okay, the graph shows the Serengeti buffalo population changed over a period of years. During that time period, the buffalo were affected by the rhinovirus virus, a debilitating disease with a high mortality rate. However, within 5 years, the virus was eliminated. And here we have a graph which shows number of buffalo on the left-hand side, years in time in years on the bottom, and then the chart, the population, over a series of years, 20 years. The question is, what was the ecosystem's carrying capacity for the buffalo based on the graph once the rinderpest was eliminated? So you have to first of all identify where do you think the rinderpest virus was. Well, most likely it's going to be where the greatest decline was. Okay, so this would be the greatest decline. There's a decline here, there's a decline here, but this is the most sharp decline. Over a three-year period, it dropped over 30,000, actually it would be 20,000 buffalo. Okay, so this is where it actually occurred. Okay, so it says, once it was eliminated, what was the ecosystem's carrying capacity? So you go up, you have an answer of 35,000, 55,000, 60,000, or 65,000. Now, you have to understand this concept of carrying capacity. Okay, carrying capacity is a very important idea. Okay, so now if you look at where the highest point is, the highest point on this graph is where? Okay, well, it would correspond to here, which is the highest point, which is 65,000. But you have to understand the carrying capacity premise. Okay, if you are looking at a carrying capacity of 65,000, it would typically be a leveling off effect. Okay, so this would be a constant where the population would not necessarily go up above or below too much, because that is the carrying capacity. It's a leveling off. Okay, so what do we have? We don't have that. We have where the population reached 35 or 65,000 and then dropped right off. There was no leveling off. Okay, so you have to understand where we have it. Now, what do we have again? We have it going back up to a different point up here at 63,000. And as soon as it reached 63,000, what did it do? It dropped right off. So what would be the best answer for what is the carrying capacity after the virus? Well, it would be 60,000 of the answers they have here. And here's the rationale. The buffalo population grows to slightly exceed 60,000, okay, up to here, individuals, and then falls back to stabilize around the carrying capacity. The carrying capacity would be right around there. So we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 points that are on that carrying capacity. Okay, so does that make sense? Hopefully it should. Okay, so there are going to be graphs like that. We're going to go over a variety of things through the semester as we head it towards the end of course test. Okay, you have completed all 19 questions. You've written them down, the answers. Again, this is not going to be graded. When you get to the end, you're going to click on end of test. That's going to click here, okay, and then it's going to come up and it's going to say again, yes, are you done? Do you want to go to the next, or you want to keep working? Yes, you are done, so you're going to click there, and then it's going to say, congratulations, you've reached the end of the test. You have reached the end of the test. You may review your questions or answers. You can go back to any of the questions. At this point, we're not going to worry about that, but in the regular test, you could do this, okay? You could write down on a piece of paper, I'm not sure about question number 5 and number 18, and then after you're done, if you have enough time, go back to it, okay? And it says you cannot change any of the answers after you submitted this test, so this is going to be just like a real test, okay? You click submit your test, and it's going to ask you again, are you sure you want to submit your test? And then you click yes or no, and you finish where you're at. Now, you're going to want to get me information to verify what you have completed. Okay, so this is what it is. You're going to go down over here to your little Windows icon, and if you're in a different computer or using Mac, I'm not sure how you're going to do this. You can do screenshots, you can do some other things, but this is my familiarity with what the school has provided with you. So you go down here to the Windows icon, click on, and you're going to scroll down all the way till you find accessories. This is a file folder. Then in accessories, right up here, you're going to go down to snipping tool, and I use this every day, pretty much all day long. And when you click on it, it's going to give you the ability to window in with a rubber band and to actually make a copy of that. So if you click on that snipping tool, this is the kind of graphic you're going to get right here. So you can click on new and it gives you the option. You can actually go to a rectangle and some other things. But anything you would window in on, okay, and accept is going to be in your clipboard. And you can use your clipboard to copy and paste onto another doc. Now, what are you going to use that for? Well, after you submit your assignment, this is the results you're going to get. Copy the screen with your snip tool. Okay, so this is actually the screen that you're going to come in and you're going to copy. So I'm going to use my snip tool. If I click on here, okay, I'm going to get my snip tool. Here it is. Click on new, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to copy this information right here. Okay, and there it is. So it's saved in my clipboard. So if I want to copy this, I can copy it to a document. And let me show you real quick. So if I call up a Word document, there's my Word document coming up somewhere. I think it's coming up. Oh, got to get a new one. Okay, and I make it a little bit smaller. Then I can copy that information. Oops, I'm sorry. You know what? Actually, you have to have your document up before you copy it. So let me go ahead and copy it again. Copy. My results right here over to the document. And there it is. Now again, kind of some issues, scaling and things like that. But there is my document and there's my information. That is going to list the date I completed it, okay, for your information. And make sure that you put this in the document that I will have for you to submit that very first day of school. Now, this is to get your 10 points extra credit. You're going to need to put this in the document that is listed in the announcements, okay, in the Dropbox. And I'll have more information for that. The first day of school on the 11th, we will have office hours, so if you have questions. The most important thing is to get this done so that you are moving forward and able to progress to get the best grade you can on that end of year test. So this is Mr. Kabilski signing off.